Deadlock, a game which opened up its doors for invite-only closed beta testing in late summer of 2024, is a hero-based, multiplayer online battle arena set in 1940s New York that sees a cast of supernatural monsters, agents, and even gods team up to complete a ritual, summoning a deity known as patrons. Today, we look at Seven, a sociopathic occultist who was caught and sentenced to death. However, he managed to turn his own execution into the bloody murder of his captors in a well-known prison called Lost Whisper by utilizing his psychic mastery of electrical currents. We'll break down his stats, strats, and abilities to give you all the information you'll need to shock your way to victory. At 650 base HP, scaling plus 41 with every boon, he's on the lower end when it comes to base HP. And with 3 stamina, he sees the same mobility potential as most others in the game. Seven's weapon of choice is called Cold Calculus, a burst fire lightning weapon that does 55 damage per second and has a fall off range of 58 meters. Lightning Ball is Seven's first ability, which sees him shoot a ball of lightning that travels in a straight line and does damage to all targets in its radius, slowing down when it damages enemies and it stops if it hits a piece of the world. The first upgrade seeing this ability gain multiple charges, and the last almost doubling the damage per second. A great line attack that also doubles as an area of denial tool that will stick to your targets. Static Charge is Seven's second ability, which sees him apply a charge to the target enemy hero. After a short duration, Static Charge stuns and damages enemies within the radius. The second upgrade seeing the radius of this ability increase by 7 meters, and the last seeing the stun duration increase by almost a full second. A great piece of hard CC that you can stick to enemies, and like Bebop's bombs has the potential to affect multiple targets. Power Surge is Seven's third ability, which sees his weapon power up with a shock effect, making his bullets proc shock damage to targets he shoots and nearby enemies. The second upgrade seeing the shock damage apply a 15% spirit resist for 8 seconds, and the last seeing the damage, scaling, and the max amount of jumps this ability can produce increased by hefty amounts across the board. This is Seven's bread and butter, a massive weapon amp you'll play around, since it will allow you to do crazy amounts of spirit damage to multiple targets with your weapon. Storm Cloud is Seven's ultimate ability, which sees him channel an expanding storm cloud around him that damages all enemies within its radius. You have increased bullet resistance during the channel of this ability, and while channeling, you could use the fire button to mark a targeted area to strike with a powerful lightning bolt that knocks enemies away after a 0.25 second delay. All upgrades seeing positive bonuses like 35% more bullet resist while channeling, increased channel time and radius, and the last showing the damage per second almost doubled and allows you to move while channeling this ultimate. This is the best area of denial tool in the game, and if teams aren't careful, they can find themselves in a horrible position with no way out. Now that we've talked about Seven's abilities and their upgrades, let's talk about how to utilize his kit to gouge the competition. Seven is a farming madman. Few characters have the tools that Seven possesses in terms of their ability to acquire massive amounts of farm. Power Surge is at the forefront of this ability, which not only farms creep waves extremely fast, but simultaneously pokes any enemies nearby. Lightning Ball does an insane amount of damage but is relatively small in AoE. Try to pair it with Static Charge to guarantee a large portion of its damage. Storm Cloud is incredibly potent but also makes you extremely slow. Make sure you get yourself as high as possible to avoid being focused down. And make sure enemy cooldowns like Bebop's pull or Viscus's rollout isn't able to take you out before you've had a chance to do damage. Seven is best when paired with heroes who can trap enemies together. Thus, heroes like Paige and Vindicta have the ability to root enemies close together so that 7 can have free reign with maximum effect. On the opposite, heroes like Mina and Lash can use their verticality to make it extremely hard for 7 to properly utilize his AoE abilities and can take him out of his ult or easily kill him in it. When itemizing 7 early, look to grab items like monster rounds and improved spirit to increase your already extremely good wave clear to the point to where no one can match. Mid, shift into items like Surge of Power and Duration Extender to amp up Power Surge, making you insanely deadly to deal with while you're split pushing like crazy. Late, look to grab items like Infuser and Escalating Exposure to make all of your abilities shred enemies' spirit resistances and give you insane lifesteal. An example of an endgame build would be something like Suppressor, Surge of Power, Spirit Resilience, Boundless Spirit, Escalating Exposure, Crippling Headshot, Fleetfoot, Superior Duration, Fortitude, Leech, Infuser, and Unstoppable. This build will give you all the items you'll need to absolutely eviscerate the enemy team's spirit resilience, while also providing you protections in a form of an active to use with your ult. Plus, crazy good spirit lifesteal that will make you absolutely terrifying on the battlefield. Now that you have a great base of strategies and items you can use to make the most out of 7, you too can corrupt your way to victory. Tell me in the comments your favorite 7 builds and anything I might have missed. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video and make sure you come back for a breakdown on our next hero, Shiv, a former criminal turned monster hunter.